Welcome back to the news at 10. It's about 48 hours to the governorship election in Kogi State, and the three major political parties, the People's Democratic Party, the All Progressives Congress, and the Labour Party, are making last-minute moves to garner support from the electorate. Our political correspondent, Seun Okimbaloye, is in Lokoja. He's on the ground there in the state capital, and he joins us now. Seun?
Thank you, Ijoma, and you're welcome to Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State. And we'll have with me tonight the resident electoral commissioner for Kogi, Alhaji Hussaini Halilupai. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you very much, and good evening.
Let me start by asking you, this is the very first standalone election since we had the 2015 general election.
Yes.
Would you say that your commission is ready to go?
Yeah, I think I can say with all confidence that INEC is really prepared, and we are ready to improve and to make this election more successful than the 2015 general election. We have 2 days to election, today being Thursday. We have already received the sensitive materials and have sent same to all the 21 local government areas of Kogi State. In the same vein, our smart card readers have since been configured and fully charged to ensure that they perform better, this time around. And for the handlers, that is the ad hoc staff, we have trained them for a longer period this time. So, and we have made adequate arrangement with the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers to ensure the previous late commencement of in the various polling units is really being carved out totally. So I believe that with the arrangement so far, we are on time and we are adequate, and we believe that we have improved, and the improvement we believe will make our election this time better than the 2015 general election.
You've talked about your preparedness for this election, but let's look at the issue of the workability of some of the devices that you'll be using. For example, the smart card readers. In the general election, there were complaints of the card readers not being able to identify fingerprints.
Authentication.
Authentication. So tell us, have you been able to overcome this challenge?
Exactly, and that's what I've said. We have now learned better on handling this smart card readers, and that's why in our training we have given longer training to the handlers, particularly the National Youth Service Corps members. We have a program what we call roots training. We have broken the training into 5 weeks, and that one we believe they will master the application of this to ensure that authentication now will be much easier.
Some of the election observers who are on ground have advised INEC that because of logistics problem, that INEC should try as much as possible to merge the accreditation exercise with the voting process. Are you going to go with this advice?
Well, it's a good advice, but with the deployment of these smart card readers and with the arrangement of the accreditation and voting, it will still be the same for this election. And as the chairman has said recently, that in the long run, that is what we are going to do. But for this election, actually, we have accreditation different, which is from 8 a.m. to 1 o'clock, and then from 1:30 up to the time that the last voter on the queue has voted, it will remain like that. But I believe in the long run, we are going to ensure that the accreditation and voting will go simultaneously.
Before I allow you go, Alhaji Ali Lupai, tell us the statistics and some of the figures for this election. How many voters are already accredited or are already registered for this election? How many national commissioners are on the ground, and how many of your staff are going to be in this exercise?
Okay. In the area of the national commissioners, really 4 national commissioners are already on the ground, and we have 11 resident electoral commissioners that have come to really supervise and monitor this election. Now you can see how important INEC has taken this, and to ensure that we succeed better than the 2015 general election. And for the voters that we have registered, we have 1,397,786. But the important thing is that we are still going to use permanent voters card. So this number is the number on the register, but it will depend on those who have bring out their permanent voters card. And from records, we have over 1 million that have already collected their permanent voters card from the last general election and the conduct of the continuous voter registration.
I must say a very big thank you for
coming
you
very much.
On the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's been the resident electoral commissioner in Kogi State, Alhaji Hussein Ali Lupai. It's back to you in Lagos, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Sheung. Our political correspondent Sheung Okimbaloye live there in Lokoja as we anticipate those elections on Saturday. Now, commercial activities were paralyzed today in Agbara, a border town between Lagos and Ogun states, after men of the underworld attacked a New Generation bank on Bank Street area of the town. Reports say a pregnant woman was among those killed in the attack, which lasted for hours. However, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, says he does not have any facts at the moment.
I don't have the facts of the case. The little I can say is that, yes, the police operatives from Ogun State and Lagos State, with the support of men of the Nigerian army, still containing those robbers in that area. Investigation is still in progress, and it has not reached a level to which we can make any pronouncement, so that our investigation will not be jeopardized.
Let's cross over to the world of business now. Here's Harriet Agbenyi.
You first. First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. The President has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to privatization, saying higher premium will be placed on the technical competence of bidders. President Muhammadu Buhari said this today in the nation's capital, Abuja, while hosting Peugeot's Executive Vice President for Africa and the Middle East, Mr. Jean-Christophe Coumer. President Buhari stressed that greater consideration will now be given to the technical and managerial competence of prospective buyers of government-owned companies. He believes that privatization can only succeed if buyers of government-owned companies possess essential skills and resources. The House of Representatives plans to investigate allegations of undervaluation and purchase price racketeering of bank assets by the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Moving the motion, Damburam Abubakar questioned the proposed sale of 32 tank farms by the agency. The motion was approved, and the House has asked the corporation to suspend further transactions in the sale of these assets pending the outcome of the investigation. While the Nigeria All Share Index continued the southbound course today, the index dipped marginally by 6 basis points to close at 28,203.20. Market analysts say bearish sentiment appears to be waning as investors are beginning to take advantage of underpriced stocks. Bolaji Akinwale has a summary of the day's trade.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The local bus dipped further today with a marginal decline of 0.06%. The all-share index ended the day's session at 28,203.20 with a market capitalization of 9.69 trillion naira. CAP led the losers table, down 4.93% at 38 naira 93 kobo. Nigeria Breweries is next with a 0.49% drop at 120 naira 1 kobo, and 7-Up with a 0.24% loss at 183 naira 55 kobo. Thursday's gainers include PZ, Cadbury and Ashaka Cement in the top 3 category. Sterling Bank, Access Bank and FBN Holdings were the top 3 volume drivers for this session. When the closing gong rang, 174.95 billion shares had exchanged hands in 2,127 deals for a 1.05 billion naira value. That ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
That was BC Adebayo with a summary of the day's trade, and not Bolaji Akinwale. Well, President of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has maintained his #1 position as Africa's richest man for a 5th year in a row by Forbes magazine, with a net worth of $16.7 billion, and that's after losing nearly $5 billion in 1 year, owing to a drop in the stock price of Dangote Cement and a pressured naira. Others on the list are Mike Adenuga, chairman of Globalcom, who came in 7th position, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, businesswoman and the only female from Nigeria on the list, came in at 13, while Forte Oil chairman Femi Otedola was 16th. Also, Abdulsamad Rabiu, founder of Boa Group, is 23rd, while former Defense Minister Theophilus Danjuma is 30, and chairman of Heirs Holdings, Tony Elumelu, came in at 31. Other Nigerians on the list are Jim Ovia, Mohammed Ndimi and Oji Uzo Kalu, who took the 37th, 39th and 49th spots respectively. Nigerians who dropped off the list are chairman of Etisalat Nigeria, Hakeem Bello Osagi, Tunde Folawiyo, CEO of Yinka Folawiyo Group, and Obal Tudeko of Honeywell Group. Forbes compiles the list, calculating net worths using stock prices, current exchange rates, estimates of revenues or profits with prevailing price to shares or price to earnings ratios for similar public companies. And let's take a quick look at global markets, and we're back. So the market's looking good, and that's it on Business News for tonight. Ijoma will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
Premium Pensions Limited has received certification for Information Security Management System from the British Standards Institute. The Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Wilson Ideva, said the certification, which is the first in Nigeria's pension administration sector, would guarantee integrity, confidentiality and transparency in services to clients.
It was a small gathering, but its import in the future of pensions administration in Nigeria is of great significance. This is the official award of the ISO 27001-2013 certification to Premium Pensions Limited by the British Standards Institute. This certification sets Premium Pensions Limited as the first pension administrator to bring up to global standards its information security management system for optimum services to its customers.
By this certification today, we have once again demonstrated our commitment to ensuring the availability, integrity, and confidentiality of information assets in pursuance of global best practices.
It has been made mandatory by the banking sector or for the banking sector by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The rapid rise in cybercrime globally makes information security clearly a critical element for any forward-looking organization, whether in the public or the private sector.
Information security is a key concern for every serious organization in this era of global graft. This certification is therefore seen as the first step in the right direction.
Is a single one-off event to mark the standard which has been attained. But the critical element here is that we don't just take away the certificate, say thank you very much and go back home and forget about it. The most important thing is to continue attaining that standard and indeed exceeding that standard all of the time.
Having who obtain to have this kind of certification, they need to show the continuous structural commitment toward to assessing the risks, put the plan, and also managing sensitive information. And Premium Pension Limited actually quite demonstrate that kind of achievement as well.
Having placed information security as a priority with this feat, retirement savings account holders, retirees, regulators and other stakeholders are assured of the highest integrity, confidentiality and safety in their dealings with Premium Pensions Limited. Omelongo Nadi, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, football fans to watch the 2015 Federations Cup final for free at the Teslim Balogun Stadium here in Lagos on Sunday. And that will be on sports. To stay with us.